What's up, guys? Here with you with FC Wonderkid, episode 31. Here with my guy, Breton. How are you?
I'm doing great. Episode 31. The Philadelphia Union, my hometown team, just won their second playoff game in history, and they kept it late, but I'm pretty excited for them. But while I was doing that, so much was happening. So much was happening in the footballing world. Ole Gunnar Solskjær is no longer Manchester United manager. How do you feel about that? I think I know the answer.
The inevitable finally happened. Ole is out. The sentence, the verb, all is right. Okay? Time has answered all the questions. No questions. I'm sorry. Only answers. So Ole has left. Finally, we have a situation in which Man United will have progress. But if Ole leaves, there's a question here. So the first question in the pot is that we have here to answer: who is going to be the next Man United manager? And so I just wanted to say, even before that, the Man United board look ridiculous. Okay, because you have an international break, 2 weeks. That would be the ideal time to get the appointment of a new manager. Just like Tottenham, Daniel Levy. It looks like a Daniel Levy actually looks like a genius. And next to this board, this Man United board, okay, because he got Conte earlier. Tottenham got Conte earlier, and Man United is there like 2 weeks after international break, no preparation, all the same. This is clear problem. So
it irks me, right? I mean, it took after 5 losses in 7 Premier League games, the last 7 Premier League games, right? It took a Watford drubbing, right? 4-1, where Ismail Assar and who was the other guy? I'm forgetting. Joshua King,
former Man United player.
Exactly. I mean, hell, even Cleverley's on the field there right now. Manchester United, they've been outplayed 5 out of the last 7 games, beaten. 1 tie, 1 win over that time period too. And it took this particular win for them to call an emergency meeting and say, Ole Gunnar Solskjær has to be a goner, right? I just don't understand how it took so long. So I'm in complete agreement with you there, even if the harder decision comes. You're right. I mean, who takes over?
Exactly. Who takes over? And saying it for the man who's in charge, Mr. Glazer, it's if you see Donny scoring the last goal of Ole Gunnar Solskjær managerial time at Man United, it makes total sense. Okay, if you see Donny scoring and he's always on the bench, it's poetic that he scores the final goal. So it had to happen. Donny deserves this, okay? Because now we're gonna see a different Donny, because that Donny Cristiano Ronaldo link up is dangerous. Okay, we saw that for 45 minutes. Okay, at least I saw that. So that was really nice. So the big question is, who is going to be the next Man United manager?
I have a quick answer. Darren Fletcher and Michael Carrick. That's who's going to be the next Manchester United boss. Interim, obviously, but that's the thing. Before we get to actually talking about who's going to replace him, is Fletcher, is Carrick is that the right thing? I know that there has to be an interim. There has to be somebody in charge. But when it comes down to it, and removing Solskjær is, even in the middle of the season or closer to the beginning of the season, is still the right move. But when it comes down to it, it's just continuation. And are you really going to be able to find somebody that's going to be able to come in and turn this ship around right away? Now, with that said, it has happened previously. We know when Tuchel took over for Lampard, it very much changed the name of the game. But this is a tough situation, because the names that have been named are who? We got Brendan Rodgers. Yeah. Who else? Who's another one that you like?
Zidane. Zidane's being named.
Yeah, and he's obviously said no, but yes, but no, but yes. I mean, he's come to terms, but he hasn't. He's waiting for the French national team job. It's going to be really interesting to see exactly what's going to happen here. But I don't know who the perfect choice is. And I guess everybody seems to think the perfect choice is Zidane, right?
It is.
Is that the perfect choice to you?
It is the perfect choice because Zidane automatically improves everything at that team. But answering quick the question on Michael Carrick and Darren Fletcher being the interim managers. It's gonna work better than Ollie. That is 100% because the impact and the atmosphere in that locker room must be like, oh my days, we got rid of him. We got rid of the problem. Okay, the virus. So just imagine the body language that Cristiano Ronaldo had with the losses, with that Watford loss. Imagine how he went to that locker room. Okay, so it only makes sense that he got fired straight away.
I'm with you, but let me push back on that. I have to push back on that. Because Ole was never seen as a tactician per se, right? And frankly, with his CV, or in my country, it's a resume, right? With his resume, being what? Mold. That's it. Molda. Molda, is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
I mean, come on. This guy was outmatched from day one and was riding the coattails of club legends into Carrington. And that's okay if it worked out. I mean, it was a calculated risk that they took. But let's be honest, he was a man's manager, right? And not actually a manager. And in the end, they're not firing the man per se. Ole Gunnar Solskjær is still a class human being and a class legend that will forever live in, United folklore. But they fired the manager. And here's the interesting thing. If he was a man's manager and just had good relationships with those particular players, okay, who was running the actual, tactics behind it? And I'm just swinging wildly here, right? And I honestly think Carrick and Fletcher had more of an influence than most when it comes to that. So what are you doing here? Are you naming Cristiano Ronaldo player coach of some sort? Because to be honest,
look,
Manchester United, and I'm gonna throw some I don't know, a wrench into the situation here. Manchester United was doing pretty well from a progression standpoint before Cristiano Ronaldo got there. They got 2 quick wins and then they lost 5 of 7 beyond that in the Premier League. I'm not saying that Ronaldo was the problem, but as a man's manager, right? Ole Gunnar Solskjær did not know how to manage a Cristiano Ronaldo Manchester United setup. Do you agree?
I agree. Like he's completely out of CV, like outmatched with Ronaldo. Just like a team that has Harry Maguire as captain, like when Ronaldo arrives. What planet? No, it's Earth, actually. It's in this planet that Maguire was captaining a team with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Right.
Okay. So I understand, like, I do think Ronaldo deserves the criticism because look, the results aren't happening. And if there's no results, everyone should have a question asked. So but I won't agree that it's his fault. Okay, the tactics, it's not him that picks the team that goes. Okay, and I'll be honest, you clearly saw that Donny, felt so comfortable with Ronaldo. And look, this is a bold prediction. I wouldn't be shocked if Ronaldo demanded Donny to come on the pitch at halftime. Okay, because Ollie clearly didn't like Donny the whole season. So in his final match, he puts Donny. Maybe Ronaldo said, screw this, put Donny. That could have happened. So if that is, look, and even a Champions League, look who saved United. But I do understand. Look,
I'm with you, but you saying that about Ronaldo, him demanding that Donny van de Beek has to be on the field.
And Varane injured.
Right.
Varane injured.
Sure. But you saying that, right? I mean, that just tells you that there's an undermining that has to happen there because, I mean, Ronaldo is at 36. He is a legendary status. He is, whatever he says potentially goes, whether it's in the locker room or he's always going to be the loudest voice, either by example or whatnot. And Solskjær wasn't prepared for that. So in no way am I saying that Ronaldo is the reason why United ended up going. But I think it definitely was a contributing factor. Okay. And I think it was a very easy, and they'd probably do this deal all over again, get Ronaldo back. I mean, the narrative writes itself. It's phenomenal. But in the end, we have to, I mean, they finished second last year, right? They lost 11-10 on penalties in the Europa League final. They finished second last year. They got their Champions League bid. They were making progression. They won the first 2 games of the season. Ronaldo comes in and boom, he can't figure out what the hell's going on. And I'm not going to say that they didn't have problems previous to this, but I am saying that Ronaldo is a contributing factor to Solskjær.
But Bretson, let me just interrupt you there. You said this Man United team ended up second. It's a fantastic and a glorifying. That's a fact. It happened. Yes, last year. But do you think this Man United team would ever win a Prem?
Oh, well, no. We'll never know. We'll never know.
Well, we'll never know. No, Ollie will never.
No, you're right. You're right there.
United. And with Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah, you're closer, but it's not with Ollie.
No, not with Ollie. And I think
I agree with you. And the last thing with Ollie, and I think it's the fact that answers anything. And I've said it in the past. If you wanted Sancho for 120 million, and you get him the next transfer windows for 80, okay. You still wanted him for 120 million, Sancho, and you're not using him properly. So that's a problem. That's a clear problem, and he doesn't know what he's doing. So I think,
and he is responsible for Maguire at 74 million, right? Making him the most expensive defender ever at the time.
Who's the captain at Man United? Who should be the captain? For me, it's clear. It's Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno Fernandes should be the Man United captain, no doubt. And I'll even say that Ollie would understand that. Ollie would understand that, because seeing Bruno Fernandes at the end of that match, being next to him, apologizing to the fans, like that was pretty nice, to see. But who do you think is going to be the next Man United manager? So Zidane?
It's so tough. I really don't know. I just don't see Zidane coming back for this. I mean, it's just money for him, right? At that point, do you think he looks at the United job right now and says, "Yeah, this is something I want," or do you think he's holding out for, say, the French national team?
You know what I would do if I were the Glazers? What I would do, it would be I would get Mark Overmars and Van der Sar, and I'd get Erik ten Hag to Man United. I
just don't know how you're going to do that.
Because they were going to leave Ajax a couple of seasons ago. There was some news saying they were interested in seeing other projects and all that. Come on, is there a better project for Van der Sar than Man United leaving Ajax?
I agree there.
If they get Ten Hag, they get Donny, really happy with the manager, total football. And I want to say this, it's a myth. It's a myth that Ronaldo would play badly with Erik ten Hag. That's a myth, okay? Because he will track back. Maybe he'll be substituted. That can happen. But if you know what you're doing, I'm sure if you tell Ronaldo, look, this is for the benefit of the team, this, he'll understand it. Okay. Yeah. It just needs to make sense. But
Ronaldo can be his Sebastian Haller, right? Just kidding.
In a type of way. But the transfer that I would think if Ten Hag would come to Man United would be to get Frankie de Jong for that number 6. Okay. I see the news that Man City are interested in Frankie de Jong with Guardiola. And if Man United managed to get that position 6 sorted, and it's with Frankie, a player that might go to City, this is me, my rumors, but I feel like
trying to think 10 steps ahead, and I love it. I can't even see in front of my face most of the time. But we all knew that the 6 was what they needed to solve in the first place, and it just still hasn't been addressed. I mean, McTominay did not have a great game. We're talking about Watford here. We're talking about Watford, and nothing against them. I mean, I know they're fearless and whatnot, but they're always in a relegation scrap. True. And kudos to Claudio Ranieri actually knowing how to play against a United that's faltering here, and it's just tough. But I do have to ask: is there any truth that you think to that rumor that came out about Ronaldo requesting or wanting a Luis Enrique? Right? Do you think there's any truth to that? I've seen it hit some of the rags in England. I don't think I've seen it hit anything that has a lot of oomph behind it, but it is interesting. I do know that when he was asked about it, Luis Enrique apparently said, what is this, April Fool's Day? I'm not going there. I'm happy with Spain. He's getting ready for the, 2022 World Cup. But man, that is going to be the question. And then you got Brendan Rodgers. You've got, I don't know, what are you going to bring? You're going to bring back, you want Wayne Rooney now from Derby County?
No,
just kidding.
mate.
That's a
No,
joke.
no. Ronaldo would be the manager if it comes back. Like I even saw that even being talked. Ferguson just being there. And if Ferguson's there, imagine Ronaldo's Ferguson's bodyguard in that locker room. Nobody's saying anything. Okay, he's even translating to anyone what he's saying. Okay, so I agree. Like Brendan Rodgers, I don't think he's the guy.
No,
Graham Potter. I think you'd like it.
I do. He has a system. He's not outmatched tactically. He's definitely made Brighton a better team to watch. They're still not great to watch, but they play a style of football that I think United fans would be pretty proud of if you put that personnel.
And if they bring in Bissouma like that, it would be. I think it would work out. So like, let's see what happens. So guys, everyone, put in the comment section down below who you think is going to be the next Man United manager, and just add to who would you think Man United is going to sign in January, because maybe they'll have to go to the market because a player like Ronald, he has his own demands too. So other managers were in the highlights in the news, right, Breton? So
yeah, man.
Who would you like to start with?
Apparently the myth, it's not really a myth. Apparently it's now proven that when a new boss comes in the door, teams tend to win, because you've got Claudio Ranieri getting that win against United. You got Stevie Gerrard landing at Aston Villa, and he wins his first game, and that Villa team needed that win pretty badly. You've got Dean Smith, who was unceremoniously sent packing from Villa, that goes to Norwich City of all places. Norwich City, and guess what he gets on his first day? A win. I mean, come on. And then you've got Eddie Howe, at least showing at Newcastle that they have some fight in them, but I think they ended up drawing. And then finally, outside of the Premier League, which is apparently the carousel of coaching, we've got Xavi winning the Barcelona derby on his first game, right? And on top of that, Xavi fields 8 La Masia players of their starting 11, and they win. And they win playing some decent football. Okay, that was kind of fun to watch. But I don't know. I think I just went through all that drama a little too quickly. But which one stood out to you? Any of them?
Well, I'd like to highlight the Xavi for sure, because I watched the Barcelona match, and 60 minutes, Barcelona played pretty well. Okay, at the start, like the passing, it was the best passing this season.
Yep.
So that's a fact. Okay, we're straight away seeing an impact. That's scary that we are such in a short period of time. We already see Xavi changing the on-ball movement for sure with Barcelona. So and it's not with the best players. It's not with everything going as it should. Okay. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. So let's see what happens. And Nico Gonzalez is the big highlight. I think he'll be improving a lot in the future, and I think he's the big reason why Frankie de Jong, I think he's going to leave. This is a bold prediction. I think Frankie de Jong and Mark ter Stegen are both leaving, okay, for Barcelona to get funds. I think ter Stegen, they can get 50 million with him, and Frankie de Jong 70. That's 120 million. Barcelona needs that money. So
also they can bring in Raheem Sterling on loan, right? No, but I do have to shout out. I mean, Ilias Akomak, that was it wasn't like, the best debut, but I was just surprised that Xavi on day one goes, hey, here's a 17-year-old that is definitely widely seen as one of the best prospects, most of which there aren't prospects anymore because they're still on the pitch. They're on the pitch starting for Barcelona. And he goes, I'm going to raise you Pedri. I'm going to raise you Nico. I'm going to raise you Agavi, and I'm going to put Akamak on the field, right?
Love it.
And he showed well, and I think he's going to continue to show well. So it's just...
Imagine what it feels for Puig, though. Puig must be like, now Xavi's here. Every Puig fanboy is like, oh, Xavi comes, Puig plays.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't look too bright.
Well, Busquets, it depends on, I guess, how long he's out, injury wise. But I think Puig did see the field because of the Busquets injury. And then for, the American fans that are watching us, Americans, listeners that are watching us, you have to wonder what's going to happen with Sergio Dest too. I mean, you got Dani Alves coming in. It was very nice to see Dani Alves basically say Sergio Dest, Serginho. I don't know. I'm sorry. I was just talking about Busquets and I said Sergio. I'm sorry. Serginho Dest has all the tools to potentially become a world-class player, right? And that was very nice to see that because Dani Alves obviously knows his place here, in that he's coming in to be the culture. He's bringing the culture back, right, to Barcelona, and that's wonderful to see. And yes, let's be honest, Serginho Dest could learn a whole lot from Dani Alves, and I would be attaching myself to his hip if I was Dest, and just let the master give him what he can.
Do you think Dest is going to stay at Barcelona long term? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I really would like to see him stay there because I think with this type of a reimagining, this work right ahead of him, I really think it would be huge for Serginho Dest to be a part of that. He's already made big strides, and I think it's just a wonderful learning opportunity for him moving forward. I just don't know. You're right. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think the personnel is there to bench him. I think he's still going to be there, whether he's an option on the wing or he's an option as wing back. It's a big few months for him moving forward.
I agree. And even the Aguero retirement, all of a sudden seeing that we're not going to see Aguero play again, that's pretty sad. Like, I'll be honest, Aguero is one of my favorite players ever in the Premier League because the Aguero goal, such good memories. And come on, he might be the biggest Man City legend next to Company, David Silva, and Aguero. Okay, they are the Man City legends, icons. Okay, so seeing him retire for reasons that aren't his own is pretty sad.
And I would imagine that is obviously it's the toughest thing he's ever had to do, but it's even tougher because I guess if you're a player, I know NFL players do it all the time. Their careers are so short when it comes down to it. But to discover it this late in his career, I bet you some part of it might be like, oh, you know what? It's been fine so far. I'm just gonna kind of soldier through it. But I think it was smart for him to say, I think my time is up. I think, and I could see him going and coaching one day. You never know.
But Breton, the saddest thing is you speak to Aguero on June this year. He's like, oh, I'm going to play with Messi. Oh, this is going to be the best year of my life. Like, I'm going to be chill. Like, and Messi is in Barcelona. All this happens. You got to feel sorry for him because psychologically, I think that's why he's retiring. Because psychologically, he went from 100 to 10, or I won't say lower, but it was devastating, all the events that happened. And I do think that was the biggest reasoning.
It really is. And a lot of people might have even thought that he had one more go around with the Argentinian national team, in the World Cup. And you're absolutely right. It feels like we've packed a full year of football drama into just the last couple months, because that felt so long ago that we were talking about Messi moving to PSG and leaving basically Aguero, his briefs blown in the wind. But it is simply amazing how, and not in a good way, how unceremonious it has been for him to step away from football. So I hope there's some big testimonial that is put together, and Messi better get his ass there and in the 11 for the testimonial. What do you think?
It ain't it. But you're mentioning Messi, and we gotta say Messi scored his first league goal. Okay, so that's he might score a hat trick in the next game, and hopefully he does, guys. I'm not a Messi hater. I want him to score as many hat tricks as he can. Okay, because that would be beautiful to see.
In League One, let's be honest, he should average a hat trick at every. No, just kidding. I don't know. What is the right amount he should be scoring? But,
exactly. If Ronaldo was in Liga, but I don't want to get to that. I just want to congratulate him. That he scored in Liga.
It's ridiculous there that I don't know, that even makes news, right? But Leo Messi, I don't know. Leo Messi's going to be there a little while. I'm starting to think. What do you think? I mean, could it be that Kylian Mbappe actually stays at PSG and they ship Neymar off instead?
No chance. Real Madrid has Mbappe locked.
I know.
It's Perez has Mbappe locked. He's got a deal with everyone next to Mbappe, surely. So there's no chance.
Sometimes the most certain things. Sometimes the most certain things wind up, it's like everyone thought Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester United was going to be a slam dunk. They're Premier League title holders by the end of the year. That's also not true. I just sensationalized that completely. But you never know.
But Breton, the Neymar, this is going to be Neymar's final World Cup, supposedly. He said it in an interview. So wouldn't Paris be a right place for him to be as he seems like chilling? He's going to be chilling in Paris. He's going to be just in Liga, getting those stats, becoming a Paris Saint-Germain legend. And if he does, I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking, Neymar. But if he's thinking to win a Ballon d'Or, he wouldn't retire for Brazil. So
if we knew what Neymar was thinking, we'd be like Fabrizio Romano.
But I think he does this contract renewal for PSG, thinking oh, I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna get a fortune, and then I'm gonna invest it in. That's it. But Mbappe is thinking, I am gonna be the best ever. Okay, sure. Mbappe wants to be the best ever. Okay, it's a different mentality to Neymar. I would have loved if Neymar had Mbappe's mentality, okay, because you can clearly see that Mbappe is fighting to get Ronaldo's legacy. Okay, I'm already saying it because it's everything. Even the way he just wants to be the icon. He knows it has to be at Real Madrid. So I think that's gonna happen for sure, Breton.
And right now, let's be honest, Mbappe, Benzema, Vinicius.
Yes. Vini 10 goals this season. Vini 10 goals this season. It's and I have here who has 10 goals too is Jonathan David, the best the top goal scorer in League in a league with Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, Jonathan David. Okay, Canadian not Wonderkid, but youngster, the top. You got
American born too. American born. He was actually eligible for the U.S. men's national team. And on top of that, we have to expand on that. Jonathan David not only is scoring goals. I mean, it seems like a long time ago that we were all saying, "Oh, what's going on with Jonathan David?" Right? He's not striking the way he used to. He's not looking confident on the field. And now he's got his Canadian national team. Right? He's got his country at the top of the octagonal. Okay, he's at the top of the World Cup qualifying table. They're the only unbeaten team. And right now, I wouldn't call them a virtual lock because they have a pretty tough last 6 games. But they are very close to getting to their first World Cup since 1986. And that alone cements his legend status in Canada, right? Along with Fonzie. But Jonathan David I'm happy to see him on the top of things. But I do have to go to the Premier League because right now Chelsea sits atop the Premier League table even after City's win today, very good win against Everton. Chelsea has scored 30 goals. They've conceded 3 goals this season. Are we sure they need a center back at all? Remember when we were talking about them bringing in Jules Koundé, right? Antonio Rudiger is having a phenomenal season, and I don't know why there are still people out there that are hating him. He deserves his just desserts. Okay. He is doing wonders. Thiago Silva looks class every time he's on the field. Chalobah has just been phenomenal for them, but they have conceded. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. They've only conceded 4 goals, not 3. 4 goals. I'm sorry, in 13 games or 12 games. And they simply outclassed Rodgers and Leicester yesterday. And I really, you have to look at them and say, this team, even without Lukaku, can win the Premier League. Do you agree?
I agree. Will they though? That's a different answer. I don't think they will. But I do think this team is really scary, and it's the options. They're full of options. Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Jorginho, Kante. It's and you said it, Rudiger. They want. I think the big question with Rudiger is he gonna stay,
Will he
Breton?
stay? Yeah,
Is
I
he
know.
gonna stay? And I'll be honest, Rudiger is a bit impulsive, okay?
Sure.
On the field and off. He says
Yeah.
what he wants, and he would be the type of guy that says, look, why not be next to Alaba at Real Madrid? Look,
Yeah.
I'll create a legacy. Something big is happening there. Like that'd be pretty good for him. Better salary too. So I think Jules Condé would be a good signing for Chelsea if he is a backup plan because they don't get Antonio Rudiger renewed. I have to agree with you, Bretson. He is
But
a fantastic.
I do also have, you got a name drop. I mean, Edouard Mendy just
Yes.
made a couple just massive saves versus Leicester, and he's
Nasty.
7 clean sheets in 12 games. I mean, he's just been absolutely probably, what would you say, the best goalkeeper in the Premier League?
I can't believe I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say next, but the question is between Mendy and Ramsdale, right?
It might be.
Like
but,
I was live for the Arsenal Liverpool match, and
Yes.
like I'll be honest
That's
with
safe.
you, if Ramsdale didn't play against Liverpool, Liverpool would have beat easily Arsenal. I'd say 6-0. No, and I'm not joking. Easily, Ramsdale saved Arsenal like 4 times, and really good saves. Really good saves. So
yeah.
the question is Mendy or Ramsdale, but I have to. Yeah, that's an excellent name drop, Mendy. Excellent name drop.
He deserves every bit of the name drop that he doesn't care about because it comes from me.
And the fullbacks.
But the other person you got to mention in Chelsea's wheelhouse. I mean, come on. If you get N'Golo Kante like that the rest of the season,
what a goal!
Chelsea's winning. Chelsea's winning. It's that simple. And N'Golo Kante, I mean, he's injured a little more than he used to be, and that's fine. But if he can show even 90% of that performance that he put in,
I agree.
Right, they're going to win, and it's that simple. So, but City looked good. I mean, it's just the Premier League is fun this year.
Well, something happened this weekend, and I can link it up because I think this player would be the solution the cheaper solution for Man City and for the strike position. Okay. And you know what happened in Serie A? Vlahović went bold.
I did.
Vlahović went bold. Okay, what happened? Now he's the top goal scorer in Serie A, and every single person that said, "Oh, he's a flop, he's overrated," Vlahović is the real deal, guys. And 70 million for him. I won't say it's a bargain, but it's the right number. Okay, Vlahović and Man City. If Man City get Vlahović, like in January, I think they'll get or Vlahović or Harry Kane. Man City are 150% getting a striker. Okay, guys, 100%. And so Vlahović but Vlahović went bold. Yeah.
He did. I mean, on AC Milan too. I mean, and he outshone Zlatan. He had 2 goals. He added an assist as well. But the funny thing is people still want to call him with 21 goals last year, 10 goals already in Serie A this year for a team that is still not the greatest team. Right? Agree. That's 31 goals in like 1.4 seasons, right? And they still want to say, oh, he's a pen merchant, right?
Oh, my days.
Okay, so he's really good at converting penalty kicks, too. Yes, that's really great. But Dusan Vlahović is, I mean, obviously the hottest U21 striker. That is not Erling Haaland, but he's still out injured. And he's getting up there. Vlahović is a phenomenal target that we do have to watch. And I keep on forgetting that, City are I don't know why I forget this, but they are on the hunt for a striker.
Oh yeah.
Vlahović seems like to be honest, I would get him over Harry Kane right now.
Ooh, you went bold.
Yeah.
But it's long term, it's a better decision.
I really do think it is, right? I mean, there's a changing of the guard there anyway. And just imagine Vlahović getting
I like it
on the end of Grealish dribbling, right? On the end of I like it. I really do.
I like that. I like that take, man. You went bold and the right bold right there. Because Kane, like seeing Kane now, and I'll be honest, I think Conte is going to be persistent this season with Kane because Conte is a smart guy. Okay, if it doesn't work out for Tottenham this season, he'll just say, "Look, this Harry Kane guy, he's the problem," and he'll leave in the summertime, and then there will be a total rebuild, and we're going to see the real Conte Tottenham, because
Yeah.
I'm seeing the team isn't too focused, okay, but they did manage to come around. But let's see, and I do think
Yeah.
Kane, if it works out, because it's still started, it can work out with Conte. Okay, I can be I'm hating a bit because I really think Kane has his mind off Tottenham,
Yeah.
and Conte's like, please, let's see if it works out.
Yeah, I think Kane will get a new lease on life there, and the funny thing is I still look at Harry Kane and he's just got one club written all over him.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think maybe I think deep down Harry Kane wants to stay at Tottenham. I honestly listen. I get his actions have not shown it, and his play has certainly not shown it. But there needed to be a sign of ambition, and I really think Antonio Conte is that sign. And I honestly I think there will be a resurgence of Harry Kane.
So you think Harry Kane purposely did this move so Tottenham act up?
No, I'm not going to go that far. That's some like 5D chess that I am not privy to, right? I don't
that's
think
a Ronaldo move. I'm joking.
but I do think his excitement for the club, his excitement for it all waned, as happens. He's human.
Yes.
Right. But I think there needed to be a show. I don't think anyone was expecting them to basically unceremoniously sack their boss after 6 months and go out just because Antonio Conte was available and get him. I mean, that in and of itself, you want the essence of bold. That is bold, whether or not it's positive or negative in the end. But Antonio Conte with Harry Kane is a very interesting proposition. And if you can get Harry Kane back to it, maybe get him a little support up top.
When that happens, Daniel Levy 100% predicted Ollie being sacked, because he was saying to Conte, look at our vision, because he knew that Man United would want Conte. So love it, absolutely love it. So if there's any news that we missed out and that we didn't mention, please put down below in the comments, guys, because we love to know, and we always love a good chat. So World Cup qualifiers.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Okay, I have to mention this again, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, how about I mention it for you? Well, first off, let's start with the fun stuff. Help me out. Okay, we are 1 year away from World Cup 2022. That's kind of fun, considering what we all went through last year with the pandemic. That is amazing. And I'm really excited for that. The downside to this, and I know it's more of a downside for you right now, is this playoff is going to have some big teams. You got European champions, Italy. You've got Portugal. Oh, I'm sorry. Both in the playoff round. And my goodness, it all comes down to who they're drawn against. Who do you not want to be drawn against? Is what I should probably ask first.
Well, we can't be drawn straight away with Italy, thank God.
Correct.
Because that would be so sad, seeing Italy and Portugal just so it's going to be sad itself that only 3 teams go through, and we have Lewandowski with Poland, we have Ibrahimovic with Sweden, we have Ronaldo with Portugal, and we have Italy. So we're going to see one of them out of this World Cup. So that itself is sad. I wanted to say that. But if Ronaldo doesn't go to this World Cup, that'd be the saddest thing ever, mate. For me, it would be disaster. Okay, like I don't know. Like, tune in March. But it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. Like,
it's unbelievable that we have to wait until March for this.
True. That itself is a problem that people need to wait until March. It should be now. We should have the answers now. That is ridiculous. I agree with you.
You should. But while you're talking about one of them missing, we have to pour one out, right? Pour one out. I don't have anything around me. Actually, I do have some water, but I need that water. So we have to pour one out for those that definitely will not be there. And that is, we will not get to see Erling Haaland and Martin Odegaard in Norway. That sucks. But they didn't play well enough. So frankly, it's of their own doing. And I wonder if it would have been different if Haaland was healthy.
It would. It was 0-0 until the end. And there was moments. And Holland weren't that good. Like they weren't that good.
No, they weren't. They really, they made it tough for themselves late on in that. That's for sure. But we're also going to be missing the hero of the Hungarian qualification for the Euros. We're going to be missing Dominik Szoboszlai. We're going to miss Sebastian Haller, Nicolas Pepe, and Franck Kessié for Ivory Coast. They are not going through. Okay. That sucks. We're missing Zolis. I would have loved to seen it, especially another year under his belt in Greece. They're gone. And then one of my favorite Wonderkids who we don't talk about much because he hasn't made his big move yet, and that's Adam Hozek for the Czech Republic. I would have loved to see him. He was good in the Euros. I would have obviously loved to see what's his name too.
But Patrick I think Czech Republic can. They
you're right. They're in the playoffs.
They can. I think they can. I think they can.
Yes, Nations League. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because of the Nations League craziness, we might need to do like a 101 on qualification.
But the teams that I don't want Portugal to get, like, there's a list here. Like, I don't want Sweden. Okay, we do have history with Sweden, and Ronaldo clutch. One of the best memories I've ever had for the Portuguese national team was the last playoffs. But it's sad we need to go again. But so I wouldn't want to get Sweden. I wouldn't want to get Poland and Austria. I think Austria is sus. I don't think Austria is and Wales too. Bale becomes different, okay? And the fact that Bale would be one-on-one with Ronaldo, it would be, you never know with Bale. You know, Bale could get a confidence peak the day before and just go extremely bold, and I don't want the chance to happen, but I'd love to look, Scotland, I think it's a good side, but I would prefer Scotland to Wales, and I would prefer Macedonia, and I'd like to play Poland because I think it's a team with no structure and just Lewandowski. A bit like us. But we just have an extra factor who's Ronaldo. And many more talents than Poland, obviously, but no structure too.
Yeah, that's still tough. Well, you're going to find out soon enough. In fact, you're going to find out in 5 days. And I believe what happens is they take them and they put them in a group of 4, and then they play semifinals. They're one-off games, and then the winner of the final of those 3 groups wind up moving through. So there's a good chance. Yeah, Portugal and Italy have a good chance, obviously, to make their way through. It's just going to be it's just a nerve-wracking situation that did not need to be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a good chance with these 2 national teams. Like Mancini, and even like Mancini, what he's saying is, look, we're gonna pass the playoffs and we're gonna win the World Cup. And then we have Fernando Santos like begging to keep his job. Like, this is the comparison, and we as Portuguese people, we are not confident, and we are laying our hopes. It's 100%. We are hoping that Ronaldo comes clutch, and he trusts players like Rafael, Felix, all these guys, because the truth is they have a stock, and it needs to rise, because these players, if they're not in the World Cup, other players will be mentioned instead of them, okay? And João Felix, Rafael, all these youngsters don't want that to happen. So it's going to be a big playoff. And Ronaldo will turn up. And let me just say this. I think Ronaldo didn't think it would get this bad, okay, with Serbia and Ireland. I don't think he believed it would get this bad. And I'm telling you, the preparation, the week before the match that he's going to play with whoever it is, it's going to be bold and scary for the opponents. Okay, Ronaldo will be ready. Ready.
It's just, will Fernando Santos be ready? Right? Or sorry, Fernando.
Will matter.
He be ready? Right? Because I know. It's just you talk about you guys always have phenomenal next gen stock coming through, and it does feel like this guy's overstayed his welcome, and that's from an outsider saying that. I mean, listening to your live on that, I think we could feel how palpable it was, the disappointment, because he's not using some weapons properly, right? And in fact, he's like purposefully blunting the blade, and he needs to sharpen them and let them play to their strengths. And we
have a better national team than Spain, in my opinion. And Morata is out here saving Spain, against Sweden. and we are begging to win.
Yeah.
Okay, against Serbia at home. So I feel like Ronald suggested Luis Enrique. Maybe if that's rumored, that's what you said. Suggested Luis Enrique. He's like saying, "Oh my days, I have Fernando Santos. Look at Spain with Luis Enrique." Maybe he thought like that straight away. So, it's sad times, mate. Sad times. But yeah, that Morata, like he went bold. He saved Spain and Switzerland. Okay,
Yes.
Italy is in the playoffs because Switzerland is a bold team and they are scary.
They are.
Okafor is the real deal. He was mentioned in our last podcast.
Yes, he was.
Is my top top talent from Switzerland. Yep. So I love to see that.
It's virtually, I mean, that Swiss escape. I mean, Italy, Mancini, you thought it was going to be just a virtual lock. Come on, these are the European champions. They know what it was like to miss. They missed in 2018, right? And there was a resurgence beyond that. And for them to lose on that day and Switzerland to kind of skate on through, I only hope we can get a healthy Embolo. I hope we can get a healthy Zakaria. They have some good pieces. But do I think they'll go very far? No. But ultimately, yeah, we've got 13 that are already qualified, and not surprisingly, Brazil and Argentina are already qualified. France, Belgium, Spain, England. England scored 39 in 10 games. They only gave up 3. So Harry Maguire for England is a very different Harry Maguire. We know this. I mean, it's hysterical how different it was. And yeah, they had a little bit of an easier group. But you know what looks really, really far away? Germany getting shocked by North Macedonia on like the first or second game of World Cup qualifying, because Germany looks like a pretty dangerous team heading into this World Cup. So you got Denmark, you got Switzerland, the Dutch moved their way through, Croatia, Luka Modric is qualified, Serbia, and then you got Qatar automatically qualifying, and I'm really interested to see how that's going to pan out. But we're going to get answers soon enough, probably as soon as January. And I don't know, man. World Cup qualifying is going to be a whole lot different when they expand this field.
And Mbappe like scored a ton of goals, like 4 goals against Kazakhstan, then 1 goal against Finland. I think Mbappe is out here saying like, I'm the best player in the world. Just wait and see for the World Cup. Yeah, that's the vibes I'm getting with these qualifiers. Like him getting the ball. That's what I'm telling you. I'm getting the Ronaldo, the vibes. The big time icon vibes with Mbappe. He wants to be the main man.
He wants to be the main man, but you want to know what spells main man? Take a team that's never won the Champions League and win the Champions League. Kylian Mbappe winning the Champions League with PSG would be...
But he's not the main man next to Messi, man. It's impossible.
He's not.
Sorry.
Yeah, but even Ronaldo didn't will a team, right? I mean, he was a massive part of it, outsized influence for those Real Madrid teams that were just unbelievable, right? But he even had a supporting cast.
Yes.
And it's weird to say Neymar and Leo Messi is a supporting cast, but you're right. You know, he doesn't need to be fully the main man. He just needs to show up and get his job done. And that hasn't happened with PSG yet, you know, in terms of taking them to a final. But
Benzema is the perfect Robin for any icon. Sure. Like with Mbappe, we see it in the French team, and Real Madrid with Ronaldo. Benzema was the perfect Robin for the Batman of the team. So World Cup qualifiers, you have anything to mention still?
No, I mean, we've got some other locks like Iran and South Korea. I think the big craziness for, again, any American or Mexican or Canadian followers is watch that CONCACAF race. I mean, it is close. It is close. Everybody's within a point. Top 3 qualify automatically. 4th goes to a playoff. I know we all look at Europe, but there are some really fun young teams. US, Canada, down in South America, Ecuador looks phenomenal, and they're young. That's a very young Ecuadorian team. None of these are going to, go for an actual title in 2022 World Cup final. But they're going to make big strides. And I really do think we're going to be paying more attention to CONCACAF. And yeah, I'm biased. Not going to lie, but we are going to be paying more attention to them over the next cycle and into this World Cup into 2026 when we host it. And you'll be coming over here and we'll be doing live podcasts here, right?
Absolutely love to see that.
But we got a lot more to get to in episode 31. So where do you want to get off to next?
So if there's anything that we forgot to mention here in the World Cup qualifiers, guys, please put down below in the comment section. And yeah, we gotta go start bench sell, right? Because it's the big game that people love to see. Yeah. And I saw a common one asked. I saw it like 3 times. I mentioned it in the live, and I said I gotta mention it with Breton because he would love to have this debate. And it's start, bench, sell. Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, Stevie G. Who? Tell me. I want to hear it.
This was so hard because I'm a little older than you, Alex, and by a little I mean a lot.
Just a little. Just a little.
Just a little. But I grew up with that dominant Manchester United team. Okay. And I had to think about this, and I had to think about whether or not it was biased. Like, I have Paul Scholes, I have his signature, okay, on an old Man United top that maybe one day I'll actually bust out and wear. But I grew up Scholes, Nicky Butt. I mean, just these players that personified Manchester United for me. And then I thought more about it, and I just remembered hating Frank Lampard in a good way. Okay. So, Stevie Gerrard is class. I think kind of what it comes down to, though, is Stevie Gerrard did not win. He won a Champions League. Okay, but he did not win the Premier League. But he personifies class, to use that name again. But when it comes down to it, Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard. I'm going to start Frank Lampard. I'm going to bench Paul Scholes. Yeah, this was tough. Bench Paul Scholes.
Oh, I can't.
And I'm going to sell Stevie G. Yeah. And here's my caveat, right? Here's my caveat. I'm only starting Frank Lampard if you allow me to have Claude Makélélé behind him. Okay? I'm only starting Frank Lampard if I can have Makélélé behind him. I know that that's not how it works, but when Claude Makélélé was introduced to that team, Frank Lampard became unbeatable. He was given freedom to do whatever he needed to do. And there's a reason why this guy is the only midfielder in the top 10 of all-time scorers.
I knew you were going
to. And he's in the Premier League. And he's one of 3 to have 100-plus goals, like 170 goals, and 100-plus assists in the Premier League. Okay. Frank Lampard didn't do that because he played till he was 62. He did that because in a short period of time, mostly with Chelsea, he basically became the guy, right? He won titles. I mean, if you don't have Frank Lampard, you don't have a happy Roman Abramovich. I'm always going to screw up his name. No. So I start Frank Lampard. I bench Paul Scholes. And listen, I'm benching a player that Zinedine Zidane came out and said that this is one of the toughest players that I ever had to go against. Okay. I'm benching a player that I consider a personal, like, not hero, but he was a player that he was Manchester United to me. Okay. Growing up, he could do anything, right? He could play defensive midfielder. He could be a playmaker at times. He could hit a shot from 35 yards out. I mean, he was just awesome. And on top of that, come on, he's a redhead. It's amazing. Like, he's this little pint-sized redhead that just goes around and will bulldoze you and will just do things. He could get stuck in. He was so much fun. And then you go to Stevie Gerrard. Oh, and by the way, Paul Scholes had 155 goals for, he was no slouch when it comes to scoring. And he had over 700 appearances. And there's always something about a one-club player for me. 11 Premier League titles, too. So, those 2 things, it became neck and neck for me. But selling Stevie Gerrard still leaves a very, very bad taste in my mouth. Look, he is leadership. He is leadership, right?
It's true, but I think Stevie G just didn't have the luck of Paul Scholes of how Sir Alex Ferguson at Liverpool. Okay, he had Benitez, which he looked better. Gerrard with Benitez looked better, but he didn't have the luck and the luxury that Paul Scholes had. But okay, my take is completely different. Okay. I start Stevie G because
Wow.
He's the best. Who was the best player for England out of these three? It's Stevie G. Who's the best tackling? It's Stevie G. Who's the best attacking, in my opinion? It's Stevie G. But I do understand the argument of Lampard because of the goals. But didn't Bruno Fernandes just break the record of Lampard straight away? Like, so I do think that the Lampard record is fantastic, and he's a legend for Chelsea, just like John Terry. But Stevie G was just a different breed. And honestly, the fact that he stayed at Liverpool with everything that passed, okay? Look, he won that Champions League, but it's so sad that he didn't win the Prem. So I'm starting Stevie G. I'm subbing Paul Scholes because I agree with you. Paul Scholes is a different breed. And any single person that doesn't rate Paul Scholes doesn't know football. And I'll just tell you something. It's a quick fact, and anyone can say it. Ferguson asked Paul Scholes to come back from retirement to save Man United's season. Okay, and Paul Scholes was like chilling, like watching Man United games from the stand, and then he just comes back the week after, and he saves Man United that season. So that just shows the class and the different breed. And it's not the goals and the assists with Paul Scholes. It's the engine. He is the engine of that team. And I rate him extremely high. And Lampard, I sell Lampard because do I think Chelsea would be great without Lampard still? I do. I think Chelsea would have been a great team even without Lampard. I do think he was crucial. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I do think that the team would have accomplished greatness even without Lampard. But he stayed there. He's a legend, and it worked out for everyone. That's important to say. But if Liverpool didn't have Stevie G, imagine how low they would go. And if Scholes wasn't at United, imagine how low, even with Ferguson there, they would feel it badly. So that's why I start Stevie G, bench Scholes, and I sell Lampard.
That's so tough. It really is. But I mean, 11 Premier League titles, that doesn't happen without Paul Scholes. That's for sure. So I'm with you. And Steven Gerrard, I mean, the way I looked at it was, do I penalize him for the fact that he didn't win a Premier League title? Or is it more impressive all that he racked up, all that 100%. He did, all the accolades, considering they never won and he never had a team next to him that could win? I think the 100%. Closest that they had was maybe in 2005, maybe, right? And then or was it 04 when it was 5, when they had that ridiculous comeback, right, in the Champions League final versus AC Milan. A legendary AC Milan squad. I still remember, this is going to show my age, I remember watching that on a night manager, a porter's like mobile TV back then. I was in Genoa, Italy with a buddy of mine who was not a football fan. Okay. And I forced him to watch it, and we forgot somehow because we were, drinking. We were having a lot of fun. I was like, pretty young then. And we sat there and we watched it, and we shared a couple beers with a porter and watched that AC Milan, beautiful, the demise of it, and that Liverpool comeback, and the legend of Stevie Gerrard. And it's just amazing.
And the big thing here too is Paul Scholes didn't have Andy Carroll's coming in. Stevie G had to deal with the loss of Fernando Torres to Chelsea. That was such a big loss for Stevie G, and he still stayed at Liverpool, and they get Andy Carroll to replace him. Lampard and Scholes didn't need to deal with this poor management. Okay. This is poor management. I do understand he was kind of like a growing asset in the Prem, but like, come on, you're not going to spend all at the time. Like, oh, come on. It didn't work out. It didn't work out.
Yeah. And let's be honest, Stevie Gerrard wasn't just a one club man. He did play like half a season for the Los Angeles Galaxy. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. He did play there, but no, I mean, Stevie Gerrard is Liverpool. Liverpool is Stevie Gerrard, which is kind of funny that he has to so adamantly deflect the question that, hey, is the Aston Villa job just one step closer to Liverpool? Right.
And Lampard played for Man City, literally
Yeah,
literally, he literally played for Man
and
City.
NYCFC, their sister club, right?
So, guys, put down below who do you think you should start, bench, sell in this Paul Scholes, Stevie G, and Frank Lampard talk. So we have another one, and it's start, bench, sell between Conor Gallagher, Gio Reyna, and Emil Smith Rowe. Okay, so who you got?
Okay, well, they're all English born. Some people might not know that about Gio Reyna.
Good fact.
So fun fact there. I'll throw another fun fact out there. Gio Reyna was actually named after the new Rangers boss,
Okay.
Giovanni von Bronckhorst, right? Giovanni von Bronckhorst was a good buddy of his dad, Claudio Reyna, who played together at Rangers. So anyway, I'm a little biased here, but at the same time, we do need to remember Gio Reyna just turned 19 years old. Conor Gallagher is not significantly older, but he's older. Emil Smith Rowe is not significantly older, but he's older. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to start Conor Gallagher.
Oh, what? No.
I'm going to start Conor Gallagher.
Are you for real?
Okay. And you ready for this? I've really enjoyed it, even on his loans previous to this. Okay, not just to Crystal Palace. I forget where he was previously. Yeah,
I'm so caught off guard.
Yeah, I know. I'm starting Conor Gallagher because engine is everything. Both sides of the ball is everything. And I'm going to put him in any team that I got moving forward because I really like him. And we now need to call him England International Conor Gallagher. Okay, he is second in goal creating actions in the Premier League this season. Who's the only one that's above him?
Salah.
That's correct. Okay.
I took a couple of seconds, but I got that one.
I thought you'd get there. But then factor in that he's doing it for Crystal Palace. And that's more impressive than pretty much anything else. Now he's higher up there in tackles won. He's higher up there in everything. Now, can he do it through the whole season? I do not know. We're going to see. But the influence that he's had on loan at Crystal Palace so far is just miles above what I think anyone would have expected it to be. So yes, as of right now, it's a little bizarre. I get it. I pick Conor Gallagher to start. I'm benching Giovanni Reyna. And I'm benching Giovanni Reyna. And I know full well I'm violating my own rule.
I can't believe what you're saying. No,
I'm violating my own rule right now. Okay, he's missed 14 games this season, so I can't really penalize him for that since getting injured in September's World Cup qualifying window. He just turned 19. Before that, he already had 2 goals in 3 games in the Bundesliga. He's scored goals against Mexico. He's capable of so much. He's been beating records that Christian Pulisic set in terms of Americans in the Bundesliga. And oh, by the way, at one point, he was the fastest to get to 50 Bundesliga games for Dortmund. Okay. Now, what it comes down to is
you're selling.
He also has a really cool bromance going on with Erling Haaland. No, but what it comes down to is I just think when it comes to engine, when it comes to absolutely everything, Conor Gallagher still has so much more that he can absolutely give. I really do highly rate Conor Gallagher. Gio Reyna too. But Gio Reyna has this swagger that's either going to be a net positive moving forward. As I said, when people understandably questioned my call for him to be the only U.S. under 21 that could potentially be a Ballon d'Or nominee in the future. He could wind up being a positive, or it could wind up being a ceiling for him. Whereas Conor Gallagher, I think, is going to run through a brick wall for any team that he plays for. Okay, not questioning Gio Reyna in that whatsoever. I'm just saying that if I'm going to start somebody right now, it's going to be Conor Gallagher.
Look,
okay?
I'm shocked you're not mentioning Smith Rowe. You're mentioning just Gio Reyna and Conor Gallagher, and Smith
He's just not as versatile as these other two.
100% on my team, man. Smith Rowe starts in this team.
No way.
Like
no way.
Smith Rowe starts.
No way.
And I'm gonna say another thing.
thing.
Gio Reyna is sold, mate.
No way.
And
Get outta here.
Conor Gallagher is benched. In my opinion, how are you selling Smith Rowe? That's what I'm thinking. What? He's the best dribbler. Look, okay, Salah. Okay, Salah's ahead, but Smith Rowe, like, he's been lethal for Arsenal. Okay, he did perform at this level against Liverpool, but that's the best team in the world right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I agree with you. That's why I bench Conor Gallagher and I sell Gio Reyna, because I do rate highly Conor Gallagher because he's the engine of that Crystal Palace team. And if Crystal Palace beat Man City, it's because of Conor Gallagher. That happened, and he was clear.
Yes.
But mate, Smith Rowe, Breton, I'm gonna be. Look, I'm usually the Arsenal hater here, so I'm like saying Smith Rowe 100% starts on my team. I'm benching Conor Gallagher, and I am selling Gio Reyna.
Dude, Emile Smith Rowe is one-dimensional compared to these other two. That's my thought process. And listen, he has not shown to me that he can necessarily take a game by the scruff of its neck. He is a phenomenal dribbler.
Wait, Smith Rowe's out playing Saka right now.
That's great. But Saka's not part of this equation, right? But Emile Smith Rowe currently he plays for Arsenal. Arsenal is a 6th place team currently, right? And they're getting better. But I haven't necessarily seen another grade to his game the same way that and I think you're suffering from Gio Reyna, lack of Gio Reyna in your life right now. You need to go back and watch those games. He already had 2 Bundesliga goals to start the season in 3 games. He's been out ever since.
I need more Gio Reyna.
You need more Gio Reyna in your life. Okay.
Love it.
I'm happy to give it to you. And I'm not even over talking Gio Reyna. Emile Smith Rowe is just getting started. I completely agree with that, right?
He's going to be better.
He's had some phenomenal games, but I also do feel that right now, if I had to start somebody, I'm not wavering on this. I'm going Conor Gallagher, and I'm benching Gio Reyna to bring him in.
Flipping this in 5 years, like.
Could be. I'm willing to eat my words on it. This is not Arsenal hate. I just don't think ESR 10 is
I think he's the guy.
Clear of Gio Reyna just yet.
I think ESR is clear of Gio Reyna. But guys, put down below in the comment section who you think 100% you start, you bench, and you sell. This was a really fun one for sure. I love doing this one. This was because we have complete different opinions.
We do.
And put down below, guys, who do you think you got on this one?
So, and who was?
Sorry,
that was Mauricio Palmer that sent that to us.
Oh, Mauricio Palmer, exactly. Thank you so much, mate. That was a really good one. Really good suggestion. And more, exactly. And if you have more suggestions, please put down below in the comment section more start, bench, sell suggestions, because we love doing it. We love doing it. So this is episode 31, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, peace out.
On to the next week.